set of people looking at it. Yeah, let's begin it from where it should be. Yeah,
take it from the top. All right,
yeah.
cool. Let's go for it. Okay, so hey everybody, this is Atif from Yop, and we are building a application to bring in users into the DeFi space with our platform and protocol. I'll give you a little bit of background around how we arrived at the project, and then I'll take you through it. So I've been in the crypto space for about 4 years, done a few other projects. I've worked with Ethereum on a few things. I've been, actively kind of around events and keeping a close eye on things, investing ourselves into projects. And generally, the main frustration from myself and my colleagues has always been the user experience and the interface of platforms. And within the community, we see a big split. There's technical development and developers who are very talented, but they don't really have the commercial experience to take product to the market and bring it to the market in a manner which will make it easier for users to grow. And then on the other side, you have some platforms which kind of miss the technical innovation that would bring the users there. So this is how we introduce Yop. We're an all-in-one application for yield optimization and a DeFi product to capture that audience. So our product is split into two main areas. One is the platform and one is the protocol. The platform allows you to access DeFi marketplaces, but also it makes the process easier by having this 5 product set all within one application. So you access the marketplace, you swap your tokens, you deposit them in the wallet, and you also have your market data all within one application. At the moment, the user experience is very, very fragmented, and you have to go to multiple websites to check price action. You have to go back into your contract, then you have to go swap your tokens, then you have to create your pool, then you have to link these pools. So that process, let alone for individuals within the space, but definitely for newer users coming into, crypto and decentralized finance, find it challenging at the least, technical terminology, not understanding what the process is. And then again, like I said, poor interfaces. So that's our platform. But then we looked at, launching a platform alone to access these services. But then, you still have the element of the protocol, and, where do we send the user and how do we connect and engage with the other protocols? So then we reviewed all the protocols, and we realized that most of the DeFi protocols are kind of single trick ponies, right? They're working on one element and they've captured a fair amount of liquidity within that, but they're not branching out from that. Only kind of, I guess, we've been looking at this for the past 2 months, but, the past few weeks, you've seen Yearn kind of make a step towards that, even though they're, more a protocol-based project, but they've started to kind of bring in the insurance element, bring in the AMM element. But if you look at it from the outside world, you have Uniswap, who's an individual protocol, you have Curve, you have Aave, you have Yearn as an aggregator, but each one is single kind of function protocol. And what we want to do is allow users to connect into multiple protocols within one application, again, not having to leave, not having to separate your user experience into different platforms. So the protocol kind of, in essence, powers the platform, and the token powers our protocol. Our highline of our platform is that it allows you to connect to the market. So the user comes into the application, deposits some funds, and straight away you're off to the races. You kind of connecting, you collect your tokens, you have a selection of product on offer, and you connect into the market. Our protocol powers this functionality. So you come into the application, and then today you have a choice of multiple different contracts, launch pads, solutions of where to connect. Some users have a lower risk appetite. We see, they might just want to benefit from pooling their tokens and earning fees. But then the other kind of more advanced users might want to go into, liquidity mining. So we want to kind of set the feature sets one by one and introduce them to the user with full sight of where their funds are, and at the same time give them custom parameters around this. So the parameters that we're talking about are, like protecting individuals against impermanent loss, protecting people in kind of major shifts in the market. So like a panic button to release your funds and to increase your gas so you can front run transactions to get your money out. So we're looking to try and automate where a user can deposit funds and then set parameters within that this yield appetite is sufficient for them to kind of deposit their tokens and set and forget. But if the yield parameter falls below that, then the protocol allows them to release their funds and come back into their wallet. The problem in the industry, generally, like I highlighted, the user interface and the user experience is very poor. But apart from that, also, we see an issue within the crypto space that products are built generally for people who are very, very technically savvy. They're not built for the wider market, right? And then beyond that, the product that's built within the crypto space is circulated within the known circle already. So we're not breaking out of this space, right? And so how do we break out of this space? How do we scale a product, to millions of users? And this is how we kind of, we compare Yop to being akin to the Robinhood of DeFi. We want to make a product and take it to users, but then how do we get those users, right? We might have a fantastic product. So this is why we've kind of leaned into the traditional financial markets, and we can take their experience and bring them in on board. And I'll tell you a little bit about that afterwards. The competition for us, again, is split into two areas. You have the platforms, within the platforms, you have custodial options like BlockFi and Celsius, who are quite big. They have a fair amount of users at the moment. But staying true to the premise of decentralization and the crypto community, we've gone down the non-custodial route, and we want to kind of really keep it like that, let the user control their funds. So most of these platforms, they don't offer any added value apart from giving you access to the market. And even in that, the user experience still is not brilliant. And it's not at the international standard that we can have today if you look at what the App Store has to offer and what generally mobile usage has to offer. So these are a few of our competitors here, that we've listed. But then we look on the other side, who's the protocols. We want to directly compete with the larger protocols. Initially, we will probably, kind of work hand in hand and allow our smart contracts to communicate with their smart contracts and, kind of build a seamless transaction process. But then later, really, we see Yop growing and becoming a platform in itself that where other protocols or other tokens or other DeFi innovations come and launch onto, because we're looking for that bigger vision of where we can, in harmony, bring a successful platform and bring protocols. And that's where we kind of term, the Yop protocol becoming a super protocol that can engage with various other innovations within the market. Our roadmap is split into, first version being the more simple version to get the users in, build our space, build our community base within the crypto space, and then slowly grow from that and add the more advanced feature sets as time goes on and as our users become comfortable with the application. A little bit about our token. Some people have asked about, is your token just to kind of raise capital? Is it what's the utility behind it? Our token is tied into the platform, and this is why we have mentioned it everywhere that it's powered by Yop. So the protocol functions within the application through the token. So we're going to operate a freemium service where some basic levels will be free, but then you deposit your tokens to access the more advanced feature sets. But that alone is just one side, and as the users grow, there's more tokens withdrawn from the market from that aspect. But for a kind of more in-depth detail, what we're looking at is where your reward is being collected for in a yield contract. We're looking at converting your yield reward into Yop token and market selling the other token, so that the user is being rewarded in Yop and therefore creating more value and functionality within the Yop token. And then there's other kind of, club services and, particular launchpad pools that will create with other tokens within the application, and kind of grow the pairs for the Yop token. So from the user growth projected and our functionality within the yield protocol, ultimately it's a net deflationary asset as we go forward, creating kind of a supply and demand situation. Going through our 5 products quickly. So Farmers Market is giving you access to all the markets, really clean and simple, easy to use. Search by different parameters. If you already know what you're looking for, you can enter that. If you want to search by kind of APY, you want to search by total locked value, you can customize these parameters and then have a clear vision of where you're already staked into and what you're into. The swap DEX phase 1, we kind of access the liquidity from the current market heavyweights, Uniswap, and bring in aggregators to bring a better transaction fee to the customer. But then version 2, we start moving towards building our own native swap DEX and bringing that liquidity into Yop directly. Our wallet at the beginning will be ERC20 compatible, and then thereafter we'll start to introduce other networks. The beginning stage is generally accessing the financial products that have been built on the Ethereum network, but we're looking outside of that, how to access and how to allow users to come in with different parties tokens on different networks, and just even, for example, like Bitcoin, and access our service so they can deposit Bitcoin, and we can give them a WBTC to access. So one is a fiat on-ramp, but the other one is a token on-ramp for other networks. Our market data product, we're really kind of excited about this in a way that it could almost be a standalone product, because decision making or earning yield, or kind of portfolio management or performance of your asset, in the end, it depends on where the market is and what's happening in the market, right? But not having good quality data is a big problem. And today, the biggest platforms that we look at, they're only valued, I think, on their user base. They're not really valued on their product. The market data agencies today and the websites that we interact with on a day-to-day basis, like CMC and CoinGecko, they have kind of very limited functionality, and even their interfaces, I think, can be improved a lot. So having this within our application and being able to communicate on the back end with your wallet and with your DeFi market, then allows the user to make a much more informed decision. And also the data within the crypto space and within the blockchain space is all open source, right? So we have the tools of AI, machine learning, and data harvesting to bring this, mine this data and present it in a valuable manner to the user, where they could really make a much better informed decision. And then the dashboard is purely about customization, customizing the application, setting your parameters within the market, and then having a chat box where the community, kind of whoever's online, is communicating with each other, and it is kind of always active. We don't want to have like a live support where you have to connect to us. We want an active community within Yop. So as the application grows, we see the community growing within the application, and then you can kind of share your performance. You can discuss what's going on. Oh, hey, I'm thinking about going into this contract. What do you think about it? And just like a free, open space for people to connect and share. And then later on, we move into our web, desktop, and tablet versions, which will sync up with the mobile version. But our primary focus at the beginning will be a mobile version. But later on, that is on the roadmap to bring a version that syncs in. There's been some users already asking, like, if this kind of level of customer experience can be built, then we'd love to have it on other platforms as well. A little bit about our integration with other networks. So like I said, we're open and we're chain agnostic. We don't want to just only offer Ethereum-based DeFi products. We want to grow that, and we've identified these kind of 7 primary networks at the moment that we're willing to integrate after our first version. But just even beyond DeFi products, there's a possibility for us to bring in NFTs. There's a possibility for us to bring in some gaming products within the limitation of what Apple will allow, and the App Store will allow. They have some areas where they're not too keen on giving direct access to dApps, but where you give them kind of clear vision of where the traffic is going and coming back from, then that's open. So I think we can add like storage for users and other decentralized products that come in as the time goes on. But primarily the first product integration is DeFi. Our user growth, like I said earlier, first primary base within the crypto community, but earlier this week is where we first kind of launched. We just published our first press releases. So we secured investment from Piraeus Investments PLC. They're a London Stock Exchange listed investment company. And this was kind of planned for our later stage growth, but they got wind of the project. They came in and they were really keen to invest. We went through like a really rigorous due diligence process. They're a publicly limited company, so they have a lot of things they have to check. They have to do DD on the founders, on the team, see if this technology is really possible to build. Where can it go? But the real kind of bonus for us and reason for having an institutional investor early on is we see the larger growth phase coming from that side, right? We have users within the crypto community. If we build a good product, they'll use it. But then we want to really tap into financial institutes that have 100,000, 300,000, 500,000 users on their book. So working with Piraeus will allow us to open those doors up and leverage their network and go up to brokerages. And we've already had like some keen discussions with these kind of partners already, and they're very, very keen to see our first product and then start to onboard the users from that space. So having a mix of that, we have like Magnus on this side who are supporting us from the crypto side. They've been our lead advisors, and on the traditional institutional side we have Piraeus. And I think with those two combinations and a mixture of support from the crypto space and the traditional space, we can really grow a product to millions of users. There's nothing really holding us back there. Quick note about our team. Launching in the midst of the current kind of the COVID 2020 year, offices I guess no longer make any sense being in one place. So I've run other projects in this manner before. Our team is primarily based in the UK, but then we have our core kind of technical review in Germany, and then we have blockchain smart contracts being done in Ukraine, with a front end team in India, and we have a designer in New York, and then we have a few other guys dotted around the world that are supporting us. But it works really well. The team doesn't have to be in one office. We kind of save resource. We let our kind of cap raise go a long way by kind of being a bit more efficient with our spending. And the tokenomics, our initial token sale is 10.6 million out of the 88 million of a hard cap. And we're raising 533K, of which the majority is already raised now. We're well oversubscribed. We could easily raise another $1 million right now. Just with the past 3 days, it's been super exciting. A lot of funds have reached out to us. A lot of the crypto funds have reached out to us, but even a few phone calls from the institutional investors already. But we're saying to them, look, just hold on, let us get past the first stage, build our product, and then we'll come and do a bigger raise later on. But we look forward to listing our token probably early Jan. We've been in development for a few months, and then our first product comes in Q1 next year, around maybe mid-Feb. Alpha versions possibly testing in alpha in early January. And we look forward to kind of keeping in touch with everybody who's reached out to us. Unfortunately we can't get everybody in right now, but all I would say is keep an eye on the project. We have a big vision. We have all the tools and the resources with us to execute that vision. So it's just a matter of delivering now and getting the word out there. But yeah, great feedback so far. And, I was, some positive feedback from TDeFi the other day. We've done some other videos and presentations, and it's been really interesting. So I'll open up for some questions and yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, well, we really want to thank you for coming back on, Atif, and making it. Congratulations to the final day of the demo presentation for the investors pitch. We're going to be doing questions and panels after the next pitch. I know a lot of people have been waiting with us, so I do apologize for the delay. But we'll be doing a panel after the next pitch. We'll be bringing Dan back on from HXRO. We'll be bringing Makoto back on from PokeSwap and Sora. We'll be bringing back on the other pitches with CashFi and Antonio, and of course yourself with Yop. But we're going to ask the production team to switch over to the final pitch video now, and we'll give them just a little bit of time.